Well, hello everyone, welcome to another video. It is me, Desiree, and today we're kind of working with the shadows, and I kind of like it. I kind of like the way the shadows look from time to time. It's just really rainy outside, and the way the light comes through the clouds, it's really bright. But anyway, today I wanted to share some of my most embarrassing plants. So every now and then I do a video that's like plants I'm throwing out, plants that are going in the trash, plants I'm sick of, things like that. And for every plant that I throw in the trash because I'm sick of it, there's another plant that I'm holding on to until the very end. No matter how ugly it looks, I'm just like, I can't let go. So those are the plants I want to share with you today. You know I like to keep it real on my channel, so I like to share the good and the bad. And today I have 6 plants that are, I don't want to say they're bad, I just can't let go. I can't let go, and it's kind of embarrassing. So the first one, and the plant that made me want to do this video, is this. So if you've been on my channel or you watch my videos regularly, I don't remember what the video was that I did, but I featured my Begonia maculata wightii in that video. And in that video, I decided to chop it and propagate it. And this is the leaf that is left. And I don't know why this is still alive. It's one leaf, it's just sitting in water. It hasn't grown at all. It put out this tiny little root. And that's kind of it. I will say this is on a bottom shelf and it's a pretty low light situation. Like, I can't even believe it's still alive with how little light it's getting. I wonder if I put it in brighter light if it might grow a root or something. But anyway, I decided to put this in water because I watched someone else's video, or they mentioned that they watched someone's video and they had chopped their Begonia maculata wightii and were growing it in water. And I thought, oh, I would love to grow that plant in water because this is a very tricky plant for me. I mean, it looks beautiful, and I'll put a picture here of what a nice, lush, full one looks like. And I almost bought one yesterday. Oh, it was so pretty. But I just can't keep this alive, and I want to say it's lack of humidity or I'm not watering it enough, you know? But yeah, this is the plant I can't let go. It's one leaf that's not even like a full leaf. It's like half a leaf. I don't know. Can't let go of it. I think because I'm holding out hope that that root is going to grow and then I could plant it, you know? But yeah, maybe I'll put it in some higher light and then maybe it might actually grow a root and I'll have a plant rather than a stick sitting in some water. So another one, this is a sad one because I wish I stayed on top of the watering on this one a little more because I think it would look a lot better. I don't exactly know what this one's called, but it's a fern, and it's this kind of fern. It makes a lot of noise, like it's very crunchy and crispy. The leaves are so thin. I mean so thin, and they have a beautiful farina on them. So you know, kind of like succulents get that like nice powdery substance, that weird coating. This one gets that as well. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a good view of one of them because it's just so crusty. Maybe you could kind of see some of the farina on there, but it's a really beautiful plant. I mean, it stopped me in my tracks when I saw it because it looks like romaine lettuce, and I thought it was a lettuce plant, but it was a fern. It's a big, beautiful leaf on the tiniest stem, like the thinnest little stem you've ever seen. And what I've kind of learned over the last couple of years is that the thinner the leaf, the more water it needs. The thicker the leaf, not to say the less water it needs, but the more you can go between waterings, because what I've kind of understood is that the thick leaves kind of hold on to a lot more water. The thin leaves really don't, so you got to kind of stay on top of it. And I let this one dry out all the time. I always feel so bad because I only notice it when a leaf looks like this. I did cut a lot off of it and I have cleaned it up. And I watched, was it the other day, sometime this week, I saw someone do a video that they talked about one of their ferns that kind of looked like this, but they cut it all the way back and it grew back from the roots. So I guess like whatever they have going on in there, the rhizomes or something, it can regrow a fern. I don't really know how it works, but I'm keeping this because I'm hoping that a new fern is going to grow like new leaves and stuff. And it has grown a lot since I've had it, but of course those leaves have died because I don't stay on top of the watering. So I'm going to move it to a little bit of a higher light area and see if that might help the growth. Maybe something will happen this spring and summer as well. But yeah, I can't let go of it, although it doesn't look very good. You know, these leaves look good. These ones look pretty good. I think it's just mostly this leaf that I can't cut off because it's the biggest leaf. And the plant will just look so bare. I don't know. Can't let go of it. Let me know if you have one of these though and how you take care of it. I really need to get on top of the watering of that one. The next one is probably the most embarrassing one because I can't let go. I can't let go of these two. They're so ugly. And when you see them, you're gonna say, oh my God, throw those in the garbage or propagate all the leaves or something. So this past summer, at the end of the summer, I bought 3 big hanging baskets of succulents from Lowe's because I got all crazy into succulents this past summer. And I have a bunch and I love them so much. They're my babies. But I bought the hanging baskets because I started watching people doing succulent arrangements and I was like, I'm gonna get all into succulent arrangements. So I bought those with the intention of cutting them and experimenting and not feeling so bad because I bought them in clearance and it wasn't like a ton of money. Okay, I never ended up doing it because I couldn't bring myself to cut the plants out because they looked so beautiful. But they started getting super just long and crazy. They were kind of dying, some were really dried up and they just really needed to get cleaned up. So I took apart all 3 of them. A lot of the leaves I ended up just saving and trying to grow new ones out of them. But a few of them I potted and I thought, oh look, these ones have a great root system. I'm gonna pot them all together. And I saved it. Oh my God, look at this. Why am I saving this? Why? Why am I saving this? I don't know why I can't bring myself to take it apart. Because I saved a lot of the leaves because the way that you actually propagate a succulent is by the leaf. I'm sure you can do it other ways, but this is how I've learned and how I've been doing it. You take off the leaf and you kind of just set it in a window, wherever, just to let it dry out. You want like the little, I guess it's kind of like a cut, like where you broke off the leaf from the stem. You want that to get completely dry because if you put that in water right away or get water in there, it could rot. So you want it to dry out all the way, lay it on top of some cactus soil, and then eventually a new tiny, tiny succulent will start growing out of the leaf. It takes forever, but it's the cutest little thing I've ever seen. So I did that to a lot of the leaves, but this for some reason I'm just like, no, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna grow, it's gonna fill out, and it's gonna look great. But it doesn't. Same thing with this one. This one looks even worse. Why? Why am I hanging on to this? Every day I see it in there and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why am I saving that? I don't know. I might end up just taking the leaves off and like throwing this out, but then I saw a tiny little growth on that one and I'm just like, oh, signs of life. I can't get rid of it. But yeah. Why? Can't let go, can't let go. And it's weird because like that one I won't let go of, but other ones I'm like, bye. Threw it right in the backyard. I have 2 more. So this one here is a sedum of some sort, and I feel like this is one that can grow outside. I mean, all of these probably grow outside in different areas, but I was looking into this one and I couldn't remember if this was one of the types of sedum that would grow outside. Because there are a lot of them that you can just have in your yard year round, at least where I live. But I wasn't sure about this one because I was gonna put it in the ground last summer, but I chickened out. So I have been keeping this in the house and it's doing really well. And from there you might think, what's even wrong with it? But up close, there's a lot of dead foliage in here and it really needs to be cleaned out. Like there's these pieces hanging on that aren't even like attached to anything. And when I was looking at it earlier, where all of the crusty leaves are at on the stem, there's brand new little leaves growing. So I'm gonna go through this and clean it up here today and see if I can just make it look a little nicer. Pieces are just falling off. See if I can make it look a little nicer and kind of freshen it up a little. But I really don't even know how to look into this because when you use like an app, if things look similar, like there's no really way to tell. So if you happen to know exactly what kind of sedum this is, let me know so I can look it up and see what zones it grows in and if I can put it outside because I would like to just grow this outside because I think it would be happiest out there. But yeah, this one, you know, it's doing its best. It just definitely needs a little cleanup. And then my last one I want to share is a sad one. I mean, it's still doing okay. I had originally bought this plant. It's a Philodendron Mykins. I bought it with the intention of doing a comparing 3 plants video because I had one from Lowe's. I have one up here. And then I bought one from Plant Arena. So I had 3 of them and I was like, yes, I'm gonna do the video. But the one from Plant Arena, I know I'm always talking crap about Plant Arena. There's no hate to Plant Arena. It's just, I haven't had the best experience with the plants I've purchased. I mean, most of them. Some of them are great, some of them not so much. And like I said, I like to keep it real here on my channel, right? So anyway, the plant came in a humongous pot and it was the tiniest little plant. So before the video, I went to repot the plant and put it in a smaller pot. but when I pulled the plant out, there were no roots. It was just cuttings stuck into the plant, so into the soil. So when I went to pull it out, you know, it fell apart. It was really hard to get back together. I really regretted doing it because it probably would have been fine in the pot that it was in. But I went to take it out. It was a whole thing to get it back in the planter, and it just completely died. I have one leaf left that's growing some roots in a little cup of water because I tried to save a little bit of it. But this was the one I bought from Lowe's, and I feel like it's in too big of a pot at this point. When I had first purchased it, it was a full plant, but I don't know why this one didn't really do well, because it's in the same room as this one, it's in the same soil, I gave them the same care, but this one for some reason just kept dying and dying and dying. It's just these couple of vines left, and I think I'm going to take this out and put it in a smaller pot because it doesn't really need to be in this gigantic pot, you know? And I think the plant might be putting too much work into filling up the planter with roots instead of like working on vines and stuff. I think that's kind of what I've heard other people say anyway. So I think I'm gonna repot this one. The soil's looking kind of like really gross at this point, and I think it's probably just staying a little too wet because it's too big of a pot for the plant that's left. So yeah, this is my last like embarrassing plant. Just hanging on. I'm just gonna hang on to it till it completely dies. But it's kind of doing okay. It just keeps dying and dying and dying. But that is it. Those are some of my embarrassing plants in my collection, some worse than others. Let me know some plants that you have that you're like hanging on to for dear life, you can't bring yourself to let go. I would love to know what they are. And if you have any of these and you have care tips, let me know, especially this fern here, because I want this fern to be big and full like it used to be, and I can't get the care right on it. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.